All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Top honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the Akim, to the elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of this earth, pushing this truth and faith and in all sincerity. I'm the brother Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. This lesson is going to be entitled, To Gain Wisdom, You Must First Unlearn. Now, this is going to be another Stoic lesson, going to a quote by Marcus Aurelius, which you can see here on the screen. And like always, the Stoicism, these lessons are just meant to use these quotes, these Stoic, quotes, right, by these men, or need to be Jake anyways, using these quotes and relating them unto scriptures, because all wisdom comes from the scriptures. And Stoicism is a way of life, a mindset, and a way that you carry yourself, and a way that you view things. Okay, Stoicism goes into austerity. With that being said, let's read this quote. All right, as you can see, it's by Marcus Aurelius. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one ever was truly harmed. Harmed is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance. Okay? So it says, if someone's able to show me what I think or do is not right, all right, I will happily change. And one thing you got to know, in this world, all right, we grew up, and we learned certain things, from, society, from our family, friends, people that we hung around. We picked up certain things and picked up certain info or gems, all right, what we thought was gems, helpful information, right? We picked up, on a lot of these things, and a lot of it has to be let go. Okay. Some of it is actually helpful, you can retain and keep, right? And you can, refine that way of thinking, right? And filter it through this truth. But some of it just got to flat out go. You can't bring that in this. Okay. And even someone who just listening, you can't be someone who think you just know it all. And you got it all. You got the right information. Right? You can't be a person that's stuck in your ways. You got to be willing to accept this. And really, the Most High got to put that mindset upon you anyways. Okay. But if you don't unlearn particular things, you won't grow properly, right? You got to be fed, the right spiritual food, right? Healthy spiritual food, and let go of the junk. Because if not, you won't grow properly. You won't grow, the type of growth needed in this thing. All right. And if you just reject it altogether, right, you're just going to remain in a dead state. Okay. But speaking to people coming into this, right, you have to let go of that mindset that you had before this, because you may have think that a particular way is right and it makes sense to you, but that does not mean that it is right. Scriptures say there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Also, Isaiah says, in Isaiah the 55th chapter, I believe, that the Lord is speaking through him, that my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways. All right. So it's important to let all of that go. All right. Think of it like this. If you got a cup of, dirty water, right? A big cup of dirty water, right? And you add some clean water to it, is not that water still dirty? Is not it still filthy? It's not even drinkable. So what do you got to first do? You got to pour that dirty water out and clean it, and then you can add that clean water into it. All right. It's a quote by Bruce Lee, right? He says that empty your cup so that it may be filled. Because if it's filled already, you can't fill it up with nothing. You can't be the person that, oh, I got it all, ain't nothing you can teach me, I know, this and that, I understand better than others, or whatever it may be. All right. You got to empty all of that out. All right. Because you can have ways about you that you need to let go, that you need to shed. And we are, even in this truth, bro, we constantly are shedding. We constantly shedding things and learning new ways to handle certain situations and to view things, right? This is a constant process. As we learn, we're going to continue to mature in this truth and to grow into more refined gold. All right. So this is 1 Corinthians 3:18. Let no man deceive himself. Any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. So what does that mean? That means you got to forget all of the bad shit, all of the irrelevant, all of the negative things and the toxic things that we didn't learn growing up. But you got to let that go, because we are coming into something new. You're not going to be able to mix that with this truth, right? Evil and righteousness don't mix. That knowledge don't mix. Was it Sirach 19:22 when it says that the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom? So even though it could have been something in the world you didn't heard and it sound deep, right, in the world that may have worked for you and your situation and what you had going on at that time. And in this though, in this truth, you're supposed to operate on another spirit. Right? It ain't about you. You come into something much greater than yourself, and you got to operate accordingly. All right, this is the Most High's, story. This is the Most High's, truth. Right, He's running this. Right, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, but he said, let him become a fool, because what is a fool? A fool is someone basically who don't know nothing. All right, when you call somebody a fool, right, it's because they don't know anything or they're ignorant or something. So what you gotta unknow everything just so you can be filled with this truth. Okay? It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So the wisdom of this world is foolishness. Just like I said, quoted in Sirach, the 19th chapter, the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. So what people deem to be wisdom here, that's fools with the Most High. Okay? Ephesians 4:22, it says, Ephesians 4:22, it says that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. All right. So you have to put off the old man, the old way of thinking, the old characteristics, all right? The way that you view people, the way that you view the world, the way that you view yourself, whatever that may be. You got to believe that that is corrupt. However you were, you got to believe that. All right. It says according to the deceitful lust. Okay, the things that we were doing. When you go back to the Marcus Aurelius quote, right? It says, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. Harmed is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance. So continuing in those deceitful lusts. All right. You harming yourself because you're not properly growing. And ultimately, the Most High is going to destroy you. But you got a rebellious, stubborn spirit, as the Israelites, the wicked of our people have always had. All right, but what do you have to do? It says to be renewed by the Spirit and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So you got to renew yourself. And how do you do that? By taking in these scriptures, by taking in the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Putting this within yourself, within your mind, and letting all the other trash, go, letting that exit. It says that you put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. All right, so we are becoming new individuals. Scriptures speak about us becoming newborn babes. Then we grow and mature in these things, right? Into men. This is being born again. You cannot be born again keeping, that corruptible, thoughts and ideas and the way that you move. You can't. This is not being born again. If Yahushua stated that you can't receive the kingdom if you don't be born again. So it's crucial. Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Right? It says, and be not conformed to this world, meaning with the shape, right? Because this world, right, pushes an agenda on certain people, on everybody, and they go with the flow, they go with the trends, and their minds are altered to the way we saw Edom and how he wants things to be. But you can't be conformed to that, or be conformed with the way that we grew up. But we got to be transformed, right? Completely changed. All right, so that you may prove what's that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Then we can be what we need to be. All right, then we can be good and acceptable unto the Most High. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, right? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. So we shouldn't lean on or go to the world's way of thinking, or how we grew up for support, and and how to move and how to handle things. Okay, how to overcome trials and tribulations and whatever it may have been. You can't lean onto that on how you think things should be, because it does not matter what you think it should be. Right? What does the scripture say? What is the Lord saying? This is what matters. It says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, he shall direct thy paths. Okay, so it's about what the Lord said, what the scriptures say. All right, because even coming into this thing, like I said, you won't constantly be refined. You got to go with the spirit of things, because you can be moving a particular way and you think that's working for you, but it could be against the spirit though. All right, so that's why we got to examine ourselves as well. Okay, somebody can give you or tell you about a negative, quality or trait about yourself, and you just give pushback. Examine, see, okay, well, am I really doing this? All right, examine your actions. Okay, why is this individual saying this? And sometimes people can be wrong. All right, and it will happen, but you still got to examine, like, oh damn, is he right? Man, let me sit back and meditate upon these things, right? Pray to the Lord, and that it can be showed unto you. Then you got to change that. You can't be somebody that, man, hey, look, man, you tripping. I'm good, bro. Man, I can break down these precepts like this and that like the back of my hand. All right, I'm a good prophet. I can preach well. I can preach my ass off. Like, because scripture say knowledge puff it up. But you don't want to be that. You don't want to be like that. There's many guys that come in here and be like that. They end up not here no more. Okay, you got to be approachable, right? You got to be rebukable, correctable, because it's gonna happen. All right. But this is Matthew 9:17. It says, neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine to new bottles, and both are preserved. Right? Because when you put new wine into a new bottle, we go into how they did it back then. They made it from animal skins, right? The wine bottles, and the wine would be put into there, and during the fermentation process, that bottle would expand, right? That wine will make that bottle expand, right? And then that bottle becomes settled. All right. Now, if you put, new wine into an old bottle, it's going to try to do that same thing again and expand it, right? But what's going to happen? It's going to break the bottles. It's not going to be able to hold it. So that's why new wine has to be put in new bottles. You got to be a new bottle. You got to refine. You got to let go of all that the old things, right? So that you can grow with this new wisdom, with this truth, right? So it can mold you. You don't want to be already molded because then it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get it, right? You got to unlearn to learn, right? You got to unlearn to gain wisdom, all right? But hey, that's the lesson. Well, this is edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.